Did you know that push-ups and also pull-ups are not only decent, but actually great ab exercises? Sure, this sounds like a clickbaity claim at first, but it's actually backed up by science. Let me explain. When you do push-ups, you use your chest, shoulders and triceps to move up and down. But for your abdominals, it is basically just a regular plank. And this brings us right to the question how effective a basic plank actually is. Well, when we take a look at this study, we'll see that the plank is neither among the very best exercises for your rectus abdominis nor the obliques. However, the plank is still effective and somewhere in the middle when compared to those other classic ab exercises. The next study I want to show you is even more interesting because it measured the ab activity directly in the push-up and compared it to other muscles. Here you can see that the pectoralis comes out on top, no matter if you're doing it on unstable tools like slings or on the ground. However, the surprising part of this study is that the abdominals showed a similar activation as the triceps and lats. Of course, we wouldn't recommend the arm placement used in this study because it's not the safest and most joint-friendly shoulder position. Sure, you can still do push-ups with a wider grip, but I strongly recommend to avoid out-flat elbows and an excessive internally rotated shoulder. Okay, back to the ab activity. Based on these studies, it's safe to say that the push-up is a solid ab exercise. However, you still need to consider two important things to make it work. First, you have to aim for proper joint alignment. So tilt your pelvis backwards and engage your glutes. Second, you already have to be able to do a decent amount of push-ups to make it an effective ab exercise. Simply said, if you can only do 2 to 3 reps, your abdominals are not challenged that much and your triceps, chest and shoulders are kinda holding you back. Sure, your triceps, chest and shoulders will always fatigue faster in regular push-ups no matter how strong you are. But when you can do more reps, you're also holding yourself longer in a plank position and with that increase the abdominal work. To make it even more challenging for your abs, you can try the following method in your next workout, preferentially in your last push-up set. Here you do as many push-ups as possible with your regular pace or rep speed. Then, when you're close to failure, you hold yourself on top for a couple of seconds until you're ready to do another rep. Try to continue this procedure as long as possible until you can't do any more reps or can't hold yourself in a proper plank position anymore. Of course, this is not only great for your abs, but also works as an intense rest pause set for your chest, triceps and shoulders. So give it a try and leave your feedback in the comments. If you want to add more training methods like that to your workouts, I recommend our comprehensive calisthenics programs you can get at calimove.com. Every program is designed as a day-by-day online course and comes with high-quality videos, graphics and all the necessary things you need to succeed. So don't waste your time with random workouts and follow our structured and goal-focused guides. Okay, that's it about push-ups. But remember, I also talked about pull-ups in the beginning. So is the pull-up also an effective ab exercise? Well, this study says yes. It compared the pull-up to the seated lat pull-down, the kneeling lat pull-down and the assisted pull-up and measured the muscle activity for the rectus abdominis, the biceps brachii, the latissimus dorsi and the trapezius. 41 uninjured college-aged males and females participated in the study, and in this chart you can see the results separated in over 10 reps and under 10 reps done. When we take a look at the regular pull-up, we can clearly see that the rectus abdominis comes out on top and even shows a higher activation than the biceps and the lats. However, to make the pull-up as effective as possible for your abs, you have to consider some things. And here I want to talk about my personal experience and the reason for this video in the first place. Look, for the last few months I've completely sorted out hollow body pull-ups and mostly focused on rows and arch back pull-ups. When I switched back to hollow body pull-ups, I got super sore abs after the first session up to a point that shockingly surprised me. Of course, I knew that the hollow body pull-up is way more abdominal focused than the arch back pull-up or rows, but the difference was still an eye-opener for me. So to sum it up, the hollow body pull-up is a very good compound exercise with a strong abdominal component. To make it as effective as possible, always aim for proper joint alignment and keep the abdominal tension at all times. Okay guys, if you like in-depth exercise explanations like that, make sure to check our step-by-step workout programs on CaliMove.com. Every program comes as a detailed online course with all the things you need for progressing as fast as possible. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe and activate the notifications.